There we go.
There you go.
Ooh,
So you were saying your stepdad took your picture out and was like,
looked it up and said that, I no longer have you as a daughter. So
hmm,
I'm looking at him going, wow, that's a weird reaction.
mm-hmm,
um, and then out of my mouth came, yeah, well, my whole life, if I saw something that said poison, don't drink it, I drank it. If there was a time when I took, my mom had a bottle of 500 aspirin,
hmm,
and the second bottle was about half gone. I took the half of the bottle and emptied it out,
hmm,
and and took most of the other bottle.
hmm,
I threw up a lot,
hmm,
but then I went to bed. I left the mess in the kitchen, so it was obvious that I gulped a whole bunch of pills because I had made a mess.
hmm,
I miss my mouth a lot.
hmm,
um, and it takes a while. It takes a long while to get all those down.
hmm, hmm.
Anyway, so the next day I go to school and I start feeling really horrible.
And you're 15, right?
Yeah. And
Okay.
I asked, I phoned home and I said I need a ride home. And my stepdad actually didn't know what school I went to. Um, and so I told him, and he came and took me home. And was going to my room, but outside of my room, I just kind of collapsed in the hallway and I started jerking around. Like I couldn't stop myself from jerking around. And my mom came up, looked down at me, grabbed me by the ankle, and dragged me into my bedroom and shut the door and left me in there
Hmm,
to die, I guess.
hmm.
um, because I was convulsing. I got really close. And I was in that bedroom for a week.
This is from the aspirins?
Yes, yes. God and I had talks. And that's when I started to realize that it was God this whole time that's been guiding me and talking to me and, helping me,
Hmm,
being with me, because what got me through is there was something else with me,
hmm. So
something that
hmm,
I felt was safe.
hmm. When did you know, or when did you realize it was God? Like, yeah.
When he started conversing with me, because up till then it was just kind of info given or direction given, or even just God would even give me the weebie jeebies so I'd be careful in certain places. Like there were so many ways he did guide me that weren't natural.
Hmm,
um, but I didn't know what. And at one point, I even thought maybe it was Satan. Um, and then, but no, while I laid there and I had to talk, and I said, okay, God, I actually don't want to die.
hmm,
I'm laying here in agony and I'm throwing up in my garbage can. And, um, and it was just him and me for a week. My brother came twice with some food that he kind of took off the supper plate when they weren't looking. Um, so he snuck that in twice. That helped. Um, but every 4 hours for that whole week, except that night. But before she went to bed, she would do it. She would put 2 aspirin beside my bed every night.
or oh,
Well, I had an instant reaction to it. I would puke as soon as I saw it.
oh, to take
I would
it?
just growl.
Hmm.
And it would pile up. It piled up on the bedstand, whatever it was beside my bed there. It piled up eventually. It's a week's worth of every 4 hours. That made me sick every time I would look at it or I caught it even in my peripheral. Um,
Oh, like she wanted you to take it.
she
Just
was rubbing it in.
hmm.
That was just how she was.
Hmm.
um, I'd be playing on the floor I remember playing with my hamster on the floor in the hamster ball. And my mom came by and she kicked me so hard that I went flying into the wall.
Hmm.
And the air was knocked out of me. I actually thought my lungs collapsed or something.
Hmm.
That hurts. Um, but it was just out of the blue and she just walked away. She did things like that.
Hmm.
Um, that time at the table when I told her that, I was telling them like I've been suicidal my whole life. I wanted to die. Um, just so that it'll be over, I said.
Hmm.
And my mom got up and she said, well, if you want to die, then die. And she went into the drawer and she grabbed a steak knife and she turned around and she stabbed me in the chest with it.
This is when you were 15, 16?
Yeah, 15. Yeah.
Child.
Um, it stuck in the bone
Hmm.
and it actually twanged. I
Hmm.
looked down at it because it stuck in there. It was far enough to stay where it was. And
Hmm.
I'm looking at it going, do I pull it out or what do I do? And did this just happen? Like again, it's like this, it's hard to wrap your head around it's your parent that's doing it, right? It's
Hmm.
really hard. It messes you up. And I did grab it and it took a bit of strength to get it out because the first yank didn't because I was way too gentle.
Hmm.
Um, And I put it down on the table and I walked into my bedroom and I grabbed my purse and I was gone.
Hmm.
And my little brother was in the um, yard and he had heard some of it. Um, I said, I have to go. I have to leave. And that was hard. We both cried and hugged. It was really hard to leave him.
Hmm.
But told him, I said, because God told me, I said, it's going to be better for you now.
Hmm.
Things will be easier on you now.
Hmm.
I think it was really hard for him to watch what happened to me.
Hmm.
Um, yeah.
Hmm.
And then I walked right from the frying pan into the fire because I was seeing this guy. So I went to his place because I didn't know where else to go. So I had to cross a river on a ferry
Hmm.
on foot, um, and then go up the valley to his house, which was on the opposite end. Um, so it took a few hours to get there. And I go in there and I told him I just left home. And it seemed okay. He says, like, you can stay here, blah, blah, blah. It seemed right, okay. So I'm sleeping and I woke up to this pain. And he's standing on the bed over me and he's punching me in the gut.
Why?
And started scrambling to get away from him. And he said, be careful. He says, I can't hit you in the face. That's all he said. And so I kind of, did the fetal and let him just wham on me until he was done. And I was in a corner of the bedroom at that point. So I was already kind of really broken already.
Hmm. Hmm.
um, but that broke me even more. Because now I thought I finally found a safe spot and it was no longer safe already, like just the first night.
Was there a reason he did that
He was
or?
a heavy alcoholic,
Oh, okay.
but I did not know that. He was in his 20s, early 20s, and I was 15.
Hmm.
Um, he was, he had mental issues too. You gravitate, when you're broken, you gravitate towards other broken, you know, because that's what will accept you, is another broken person.
Hmm.
You're too broken for people that aren't broken.
Hmm.
um, yeah, but I didn't know how broken he was, that's for sure. So that was 8 years I was with this guy, and
Hmm.
for 8 years, he would tell me how much he wanted to kill me.
Hmm.
And he would, like, we'd be eating supper, and all of a sudden he would just grab my plate and shove it in my face and then make me have to pick it all up by my mouth or whatever. Like, really stupid, horrifyingly demented things. Um, Again, so abusive. Um, you can't imagine a guy would want to do those things to somebody.
Hmm.
Um, what you can't imagine, that's what he was doing. And it messed me up. Every time something like that happened, it really messed me up because it was quite violent. Um, Bloody violent.
Hmm.
And I was always too afraid to leave.
Hmm.
That's right. They, he wore me down, trying to convince me that no other guy would want me. I'm so messed up. Like, I'm so screwed up.
Hmm.
There's nobody else that would take me. You know,
Hmm.
they convince you.
Hmm.
But finally, God, I guess, said enough is enough,
Hmm.
and sent a chicken to the store I was working at. And all of a sudden, out of my mouth came, if you know you're going to die if you stay, but you're going to die if you leave, what do you do? And she turned around and looked at me. She's Jamaican, eh? And she's in this thick Jamaican accent. She said, I'd rather die fighting.
Hmm.
And I thought, you're right. I'd rather die fighting. If I'm going to die, I'd rather die fighting than just let him kill me. Because it was at the point it was going to happen.
Hmm.
Uh, he was strangling me till I was passing out. He was that close. He would just bring me that close. Um, and so I went home. He was on night shift, and I actually threw every single item of his out. I split everything down the middle and put it all on the patio.
Hmm.
And there was a chick at this. I, I was in a gift shop in an inn in Banff, and uh, a chick I knew there. I said, "And you need a place to stay, right?" And she goes, "Yeah." And I said, I'll give you my bedroom and I'll take the couch." It was a one-bedroom apartment that we
Hmm.
were in at the time. So I moved her in and I moved him out. I
Hmm.
was waiting,
Hmm.
waiting to die. But I was so happy that I was fighting.
Hmm.
And he came home and he freaked out, and I did get a beating. Um, but eventually he did leave again
Hmm.
because she was there. There was not much he could do.
Hmm.
Though he did kind of lose it a bit
Hmm.
when she was there.
Hmm.
But then I got stalked. He stalked me night and day, followed me wherever I went.
Mm.
I would be working at that gift shop and he would stand outside at the window, and every time I looked up at him, he would go
Mm.
like that every time. But he would stay there 8 hours every day and follow behind me when I went home.
Mm.
I would come home and he would have broken in and either messed the place completely and broke everything in it. And one time he had dozens of roses on my table
Mm.
with a card that said forever on it.
Mm.
Um, yeah, there's just no safe place I could go.
Mm.
um, and so it was like that for years.
Mm.
Um, Shortly after I left him, I ended up meeting my first husband, and that's when I ended up with the two children, the first two.
Mm. Mm-hmm. Was this the
Um,
elder from or deacon or elder from the church or different?
no, this guy, I wasn't a believer at this point. Well,
Okay.
I wasn't
Right.
his believer.
Right. Right. Okay.
Um, anyway, I'm not sure where to go at this moment. Eventually, because I was with this guy, um, David, the first dude, the crazy dude,
Mm.
the stalker,
Mm.
kind of was more in the background at that point because I had a dude around.
Mm.
But I remember waking up to noise outside our window, bedroom window.
Mm.
And so Art goes out, and there he had wheeled up in a shopping cart
Mm.
full of these big, huge rocks
Mm.
and parked it right under my bedroom window.
Mm.
Because I made a huge racket when I heard the noise because I was trying to scare whoever it was away. I guess it scared him away. I don't know what he planned on doing with those rocks, but
Mm.
so I mean, it did still go on,
Mm-hmm.
just more background.
Mm.
But eventually, um, after the second child, right after, pretty much,
Mm.
um, so Jesselyn was 2 and Justin was like 2 months old. When I'm laying in bed and this voice said, "Call your dad or you're going to regret it." And it had so much authority.
Mm.
Like it was just like, whoa.
Mm.
So I actually picked up the phone and I said, "Well, what do I do?" Um, and he directed me to dial 411. So I dialed 411 and she goes, "For what city, please?" And I said, "Well, I have no idea." I said, "Can you just search for some name or something? Like, can we
Mm.
do it that way?" She goes, "No, you need to have the city first, ma'am." And so the voice said, "Edmonton." Now, it could have been any city in Canada or United States or
Mm.
Timbuktu, right?
And this is that same voice with the authority, or?
Yeah, yes. And because when it said Edmonton, I just repeated Edmonton. And then she said, "For what name, please?" And my dad went under aliases because my dad was a murderer and he got out of jail by accident. So he hid and had many aliases.
This
So
is
I
your
didn't
real
know,
dad.
yeah, my real
The
dad.
first, yeah, okay.
Yeah. It's a real messed up family. Um, and then um, I forgot where I was. Where was I?
You were calling Edmonton.
Yes. So the voice told me give her his real name. So I said the real name, and she goes, "I have someone here. Would you like me to connect you?" And I said, "Sure." And the next thing I know, we're connected. And this lady, I said, "I don't know if this is the right Charles Edmonds. I don't know,
Right.
but this I'm Danette, and I think I'm his daughter."
Hmm.
And she goes, "Praise the Lord, praise the Lord." Now, oh no, oh no, holy rollers, religious, oh no.
Hmm.
Right? It was like, but the next thing I know, I hear my dad's voice. So just like that, within 2 minutes, I'm connected to my dad,
Your dad, not in prison, right?
not in prison.
Okay, just yeah. Okay, got it.
He was actually at that point in time on a mountain, guarding some dude's ranch
Okay, cool.
from
Okay,
coyotes and stuff.
okay,
Had a rifle
okay.
with him and everything.
So
Um,
you randomly you somehow got his number. You somehow got connected with him. Right. Okay. And then your dad. Okay.
yeah, because he had recently got remarried.
But you didn't know that, I was saying.
I didn't know anything
Yeah,
about
yeah,
him, right?
yeah,
Yeah, I didn't know
yeah.
anything. He could be dead. I didn't know.
So you got the area code from God, and then
I
God
still
gave
got
you.
everything from God. I got all the information I was connected with in a
Right.
couple minutes. Yeah.
Right. Okay. So
And it
then
was
what did you
him.
say?
And I
Yeah. Okay.
remember his voice, right?
Okay.
And so 2 weeks later, him and his wife, now my dad had had two strokes.
Oh, yeah.
Uh, and she is disabled, but they came down from Edmonton and they spent 2 weeks with me and my little ones.
Hmm.
And I had a lot of questions about God at that point.
Hmm.
And when he left with a, there was just, I have to admit, though, when he came, he asked me to forgive him. And I
Hmm.
said, you know what, Dad? I don't know how, but there's just a lot of forgiveness there.
Hmm.
It's just there.
Hmm.
I forgive you. You're forgiven. Don't know how.
Hmm.
There you go.
Hmm.
Um, but he left me a New Testament, and um, he said I would be in church that weekend, and I said no, I won't. But anyway, so that night he said to start with the Book of John, so I opened the Book of John and I start reading, and then it's just like, man, if this is even a little bit real, um, and I just thought, what's the worst that's going to happen
Hmm.
if I actually believe that this is real?
Hmm.
And because I already kind of knew from all my experience, I kind of knew. Um, but then I get a knock on my door, and I was in community housing.
Hmm.
It's subsidized by the government because I
Hmm.
was in school. I was in university, and I had two little ones. And
Hmm.
um, anyway, so there was another single mom that I didn't know, and she was knocking on my door, and she said, "God sent me to your house."
Hmm.
So I said, "Well, come on in," and we sat down on my couch,
Yeah.
and she said, "God said you're ready."
You're
I
ready.
said, "Ready?" I said, "You know what? I think I'm ready." So she led me in a prayer, and I accepted the Lord with this stranger that came to my door, like a few days
Beautiful.
after my dad left, right? A couple
Beautiful.
days after my
Yeah.
dad left. So I mean, with
Beautiful.
all this is going on, you doubt really.
Hmm.
um, and that's how I came to the Lord.
Hmm. And did you go to church that weekend, like your dad said?
I was there that weekend. I
Prophetic.
was there that weekend. Yeah. There's a female pastor. Um, yeah. So my first experience was a blind female pastor.
She was blind.
Yeah,
Huh.
yeah, and cool, way cool.
Way cool.
Yeah. So anyway, yeah, I
Hmm.
stayed at that church 10 years, and then I moved away. That's the only reason why I didn't
Hmm.
stay there still. Yeah.
And that you were it was the with the female pastor for 10 years. The female she was there for 10
No,
years.
the female pastor was only like a couple of years. There was like eventually, I think there was four pastors, three
Okay.
or four.
Okay.
There was a misogynist, Pastor Randy, the misogynist. Um, women had their place.
Hmm. Hmm.
and they only kind of really looked good when they're clean,
Hmm.
quote unquote.
Hmm.
Um,
Hmm.
I didn't understand that one, never will,
Hmm.
but it sounded misogynist to me.
Hmm.
Um,
Hmm.
anyway, I didn't really learn anything with him. Uh, then
Hmm.
there was, at the end, there was the last one was a really one.
Hmm.
He was always complaining, wah, 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 wah. So a whiny pastor
Hmm.
wasn't, it was hard to learn anything that way too,
Hmm.
because one way he's saying faith and everything like that, and the other way, it's like, wah, 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 right?
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah. Hmm.
So it wasn't a lot of happy times in that
Hmm.
church.
Hmm.
I did learn and grow, but not like
Hmm.
a lot.
Hmm. Did because I remember in Ethiopia, you were telling me like how to listen to the voice of God, you know? Like, did someone teach you that, or is it something that
God did over time. It
hmm.
over all this time from my early 20s
Hmm.
to even now
Hmm.
and beyond now.
Right.
He's teaching me how to hear
Hmm.
him.
Hmm. So can you kind of explain that a little bit? Like how like for people who may not know, you know,
This is
like
where I want to delve into with you on
hmm.
at another point in time, or we can keep doing this. I don't know which one
Hmm.
you want to do. Um, you really have to kind of empty yourself, just kind of not think, and it takes a while to get there. Just to maybe play, I put my eyes on God. It's like I'm looking at him,
Hmm.
and but I quiet myself
Hmm.
because I can't hear him through my thoughts.
You
My
can't.
thoughts crowd his voice out.
Hmm.
Um, so is my will.
Hmm.
So you have to be open to hearing it.
Hmm.
I think I think I was open all my life because I needed somebody. I needed who was safe. God.
Hmm.
I look back and now I see where Jesus was the whole time.
Hmm.
Jesus held me this whole time. He cried with me. He
Hmm.
experienced the pain. He was
Hmm.
with me the whole time.
Hmm.
Uh,
Hmm.
and he's used it all. So
Hmm.
anyway, you also have to believe you can hear God. And at first, you really do think it's your own head. You think it's your own head,
Hmm.
that it isn't really God, it's your own voice.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? Like,
Hmm.
was that God speaking or was that me?
Hmm.
I had
Hmm.
that for years.
Hmm.
Um,
And one question is because it's happened fewer like for me I there are a few times when I hear that authoritative voice, you know, like and it's like you fall kind of in fear. It's like, whoa, like there are a
yeah,
few times, but it doesn't always sound like that. Sometimes it's
no,
like
it
a sense.
doesn't.
So can you kind of explain how that your experience?
It's it's like it's a more anointed voice. There's more authority because God is wanting you to really move in that. Would it? If you get that, you
Yeah.
better listen and stay there until you hear it. Like if you have to sit there in the nothingness for hours, then that's what you need to do till you hear what the message is. If you
Hmm.
didn't hear it the first time,
Hmm. Right. Hmm.
do it.
Hmm.
Whatever it is, what because the enemy can't fake that. It's the exact
Hmm.
you had the exact response I did. It's like, whoa.
But then there are
But
other
it's not
times,
a clear whoa. It's not a like
right,
it's not I'm gonna get hit now. It's
right,
more
right.
it's just
Like
just a
authority.
lot of
Yeah.
authority.
It's
Yeah.
weighty. Yeah. But
Yeah.
then there are other times when it's,
So gentle.
yeah, and
Sweet.
like almost like a whisper. So like, but it's almost like easy to, like the authoritative voice, you can't ignore. It's like,
No. I
yeah,
don't know if anybody can.
yeah. So like, what about I don't know, I
The
guess there are different,
quiet voice
yeah,
and
like that,
everything in between.
yeah.
It time and effort. You have to be. It's almost like a training.
Mm.
Um, Sheila
Mm.
has been. I've been trying to help her for
Yeah.
years,
Yeah.
years.
Yeah.
Man, does it ever feel good having it come back at me and have somebody like God speaking through somebody else to me and
Mm.
getting the whoa.
Mm-hmm.
And wow, I needed to hear that, Lord, from her.
Mm.
She's hearing like crazy now. Like she has really connected. But it took her a long time too, and a lot of effort. Um,
So when you say you're still learning, like, is it because there's also an element of like testing the spirits, right? Like sometimes it's you think God's given you a certain desire, but it could be yourself or the enemy. So when you say you're still learning, and I'm guessing Sheila is probably still learning, right? Like
oh yeah, we'll
what
always
is
be learning. We'll
what
always
is
be learning.
what is the like practically what does that look like?
If you can think, if God can do anything, how many ways could He talk to us?
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
It's limitless.
Right.
And as you tap into them, that's more and more info.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it's I got this vision
Mm.
early on.
Yeah.
It, like when the first couple of years I was with the Lord,
Mm.
and it was a really strong vision. Wow.
Mm.
I walk in to this room and there's like a tub and a shower,
Mm.
and I have to go in there. So I walk into the tub and I close the curtain, but all of a
Mm.
sudden there's shower heads everywhere, and
Mm.
it sprays, and it's like I'm like, wow, this is like God clean. Like you get super clean with that, right? I'm just like,
Mm.
whoa, you can get super clean in here. And then I come out the other side,
Mm.
and on the floor is sand.
Mm.
So I come out and I'm wet, and I stand on the sandy floor, and God says, take a couple steps. So I take a couple steps, and He said, look behind you, and I look, and I can see my footprints.
Mm.
And He said, now keep walking. So
Mm.
I keep walking, and um, then I enter this old mansion library.
Mm.
And if you can imagine, gazillions of books
Mm.
of all kinds. Some look so old, older than time.
Mm.
Um, some look relatively new, and everything in between. And I'm going, whoa, that's a lot of knowledge in here, God. And I'm opening up a book, and it's just like it's absorbing into me. I don't read it, it's kind of each page absorbs into me. And then He said, just wait. And I said, what? He said, come with me. And so I go through another door, and it's an even bigger library with even more books.
Mm.
Now we're talking infinite books,
Right.
books with no end.
Mm.
So there's the first library, which seems like enough, you
Mm.
know, for a lifetime and a half. And then there's the next one.
Mm.
So there's levels, it seems,
Mm.
of information or knowledge
Mm.
that He shares. He wants to tell us everything
Mm.
that He desires us to know. There's so much He wants us to know.
Mm.
um,
Mm.
it'll get to a point where you have to shut Him up. Like
Mm.
it gets to the point where it's like too much overflow,
Mm.
overload, and I kind of have to disconnect for a while because um, you learn so much so fast all of a sudden because you learn it not just with your head but with your whole body, with your spirit, and this is
Mm.
why.
Mhm. Mm.
Um, Hence why I knew that what I talked about at the beginning, that was from God. I knew that was God. It's not some,
Mm.
you know, even though I did check it. Just
Mm.
made error, but it was definitely given by God. Um, it gets to the point. with practice. And the practice is not doing, the practice is not doing
Not doing what?
anything. The practice is staying open to whatever God wants to do. If He just wants you to sit in silence with Him, then that's what you do.
Hmm.
And you just don't do anything except be open.
Hmm.
Um, because He does want to talk to each one of us. He does want to spill a lot of beans
Hmm.
and guide and lead us and be with us. And
Hmm. Would you say um like in the day-to-day of like a church ministry, would you say there's like too much doing and not enough like just, you know,
listen, yeah.
yeah, and then doing, or is it sometimes God just wants you to choose, don't like you don't need to seek him. He
I
gave you a
think church
brain.
is, I think church would be a different, whole different ballgame.
Hmm.
Church would not be how we know it if
Hmm.
we were all listening and being led by God.
Hmm.
Because it's not what He wants. What we're
Hmm.
doing is not what He wants.
Hmm.
Um, we're pretty ritualistic in our views of any kind of church, even the non-denominational that I'm in. You
Hmm.
know, but they have a certain way of doing things, right? And they
Hmm.
do that over and over again
Hmm.
because it seems to work. And the
Hmm.
complacency is there because it seems to do what we think it's supposed to do, and they kind of just don't grow from there. Um, Plus, I think just not, we're thinking about ourselves too much.
Thinking about
We're,
ourselves too much.
yeah, we're concentrating on our own lives,
Hmm.
you know, on average. I'm not
Hmm.
saying everybody in
Right.
church should be like that, but
Hmm.
basically we are more concerned with our own life than the lives of others and
Hmm.
what God wants.
Hmm.
I'm always at, odds with my will and God's will.
Hmm.
I still struggle because I kind of want to keep it my way,
Yeah.
but I just drag my heels a bit. She always gets its way. I do eventually let go.
Hmm.
It's just I drag my heels.
Hmm.
um, and I think everybody will drag their heels with what they know and what
Hmm.
they've been taught
Hmm.
and what God really wants and what God can really do.
Hmm.
Because He's got no barriers to talking to you.
Hmm.
It's our barriers
Hmm.
that stop us from being able to hear Him. We hear Him with our body,
Hmm.
we hear Him with our soul, we hear
Hmm.
Him with our heart, we hear knowledge. All of a sudden, like, I don't know about you, and I think I know you enough that He hits you with knowledge. All of a sudden, you just know
Hmm.
something you didn't know, or
Hmm.
you'll hear something come out of off your lips that you didn't know,
Hmm.
but you just spoke it.
Hmm.
Sort of thing. It bypasses you sometimes. Have you had that?
Hmm. Yeah, for sure.
I think so. Yeah. Um, you're more and more open to being led by God. Your deepest desire is to be led by God and God alone.
Hmm.
Um, you're a David um, in God's eyes. So
Hmm.
you're a man of God's own heart. That's what He doesn't look at what you haven't done yet or what you do that you shouldn't. He doesn't see any of that.
Hmm.
When He looks at you, He sees your purest form in what He created you to be.
Hmm.
Um, he does see your spirit. He does know you. He's known you since He was hovering over the waters. He has
Hmm.
loved you longer than that.
Hmm.
So He knows you quite well.
Hmm.
And He knows your future. He knows what you never do, what you don't do, what you do,
Hmm.
your falls, your get ups, your
Hmm.
successes, your fruit, your whatever, right?
Hmm.
He knows all that, but still loves